How's it going, guys? Mo Sports Network here, and welcome back to the Msbl. If you could join us for the live stream last night, it was a great time. The draft went very well. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if not, we're here today with a recap of the draft. So we're going to look at every team's rosters, taking a look at the best players for each team today, recapping it all right here. So the Sharks, their first pick, they got Ronald Acuna Jr. Their other top players, they got Josh Donaldson, Mad Bum, Mondesi, Dan Winkler, Wilson Ramos, and Mike Zunino. So two solid catchers. Ronald Acuna is going to be the star for this team for a very long time, especially with the contract he's on. Teammate Acuna is familiar with, and Donaldson. There's that there. And then the starting pitching, you got Mad Bum, Carlos Rodon, Anthony Disclafani. I'm not going to try this name, and Jose Urania. He's got some past with Acuna, but there's that. Next, the Massachusetts Undertakers, their best player and first pick was Francisco Lindor. Also on the squad, they got Kevin Kiermaier, Gene Segura offensively, and Kike Hernandez, some of the better offensive players they have. Pitching-wise, their starting rotation, Arias, Giolito, Montgomery, Michael Fulmer, and Alex Manoah, and a potential pitcher up and coming for Massachusetts. So that'll do that for them. The New York Kings, best player, J.D. Martinez, paired with probably one of the best closers in the game, in Roberto Ozuna. They also acquired Colton Wong, Dylan Betances, Nelson Cruz. Their starting lineup, they have Matthew Boyd as their best starting pitcher. They have a good bullpen. Starters, not so much. You got Matthew Boyd, Kyle Gibson, Pablo Lopez, Edinson Volquez, and Alex Benninger. Dustin May, though, will be a pitcher for them soon, along with potentially Trevor Richards. But those are your five to start the season for the Monarchs. For the Jacksonville Fire, best player they have is Whit Merrifield at 31 years old. They also have JT Realmuto. First pick in their draft was Juan Soto. So they have a very solid first three right there. And then if you look at their starting pitchers, Patrick Corbin and Eduardo Rodriguez are their top two pitchers. They also pair Matt Shoemaker, Julio Teheran, and Sean Newcomb to round off their starting five. I also expect Zach Eflin to potentially get in there at some point. Next, we have the Bobcats of Montreal. They got the ace, the man himself, Max Scherzer, and they pair him with Steven Strasburg, like in Washington, the best 1-2 punch of pitchers in the league. You also have some solid offensive pieces, Nick Castellanos, Anthony Rizzo, Ben Zobrist, teams or players who have experience winning, which is always important. Their starting rotation, I already named two of them. They really falls off after that. They have Vinny Medina, who could potentially develop into a very good third arm. And this year they have Hector Velasquez and Drew Smeltzer to round out their pitching rotation. Next, we have Chicago, the Cyclones. Their first pick was Alex Bregman. And pairing with him, they have Edwin Encarnacion and Byron Buxton. You also got a couple solid pitchers going along there. You have Corey Dickerson, Jorge Polanco. It's going to be the Alex Bregman show here in Chicago. The pitching core around him, you're going to have Jake Odorizzi, Chris Paddock, two very strong pitchers. Also, Jameson Tallien has potential to develop. And Ryan Yarborough and Zach Goodley are not bad by any means. A lot of teams in this league have 60 pitchers in the 60s, and the lowest overall for the Cyclones being a 78 means they're going to be a consistent pitching team day in, day out. So the next team we have to deal with is Columbus, the Panda Bears. Their first pick was Joey Gallo, the young 26-year-old, and they paired him with former Indian Jose Ramirez. They also have Tommy Pham in the mix. So three very strong offensive players to start off their rotation. But besides Trey Mancini, kind of falls off after that. And then you take a look at the pitching. Carlos Martinez from the Cardinals. He's going to be their ace, solid player. And they're going to put in Robbie Ray, Jose Quintana, Joey Lucchesi, and then Alex Young as the final pitcher. Nothing super exceptional, no super strong ace, but solid pitching from Columbus are on the board as well. No relief pitchers. For the Michigan Machine, their first pick was Eugenio, or it was actually Pete Alonso, and then they got Eugenio Suarez in the second round. That's a strong 1-2 punch. And then you pair Andrew McCutchen, David Fletcher, Andrelton Simmons. Like, look at that outfield, or that infield. That's an insane infield, especially with Andrelton Simmons playing defense. Probably the best infield in the league. You also got Kutch there. The pitching, though, leaves a little bit to be desired with everything else going on. Your best pitcher in Michigan is Max Fried, which is something you don't want. Max Fried is going to develop, but they did not take any strong starting pitchers. You're having George Kirby, forcing him to start, only a 68 overall despite his A potential. And then you have an 18-year-old Brandon Kingman in the mix as well. Zach Davies is going to be forced to be your veteran pitcher on this staff, which is something you don't like to see on a team. They have Joe Smith relieving and Jordan Hicks as the closer, but Jordan Hicks will develop into a strong closer, so the bullpen is going to be stronger than the starting pitching, but that starting pitching is going to be rough for the Machine. The next team, the Memphis Smokies, they ended up with 99 overall Nolan Arenado. You can't really miss on Arenado. You got a strong pitcher in Sonny Gray, Yasmani Grandal, who became a meme in the chat. That Yasmani Grandal should have gone right after Mike Trout at second overall. So he's there. You also have young Miguel Sano there. Pretty strong offense, I'd say. You also have Yohan Moncada, who will play somewhere in the infield, and Daniel Murphy, another strong infield. And the pitching for Memphis, not that bad either. Sonny Gray, Mike Minor, John Lester, good veterans, probably won't be around for a long time, but that's a strong three. And then you have Jose de los Santos, a potential 22 years old. He's going to develop and be something very good, probably going to be replacing John Lester sooner rather than later. And then you're going to round out that rotation with Chase Anderson. So the next team, the Omaha Rough Riders. The offense here is going to be the Mookie Betts show. You got Kyle Schwarber hitting dingers. You got Brandon Lowe there. He's going to do good things. Starling Marte, obviously. But the starting pitching, you got two stars on this team with Marcus Stroman and Clayton Kershaw. The last three, not going to be super strong, although Chris Bubik is going to develop into a strong pitcher. He's only 22 years old at a 70 overall. Then you got John Means and Daniel Ponce de Leon rounding out your starting pitchers for this roster. You got Will Smith catching. He's going to develop well. Omaha, pretty good outlook, pretty young, solid team right here. Maybe not ready quite this year, but they're going to be around for a while. For the Phoenix Cobras, the first pick you got your ace pitcher, Walker Buehler. And then you got Hyun-Jin Ryu. And then you got Kyle Hendricks. Just a very, very strong first three in the starting rotation. And then on top of that, Trevor Williams and Frankie Montas. Probably one of the best starting pitching cores in the league. But obviously, that also means you're going to have a little bit of a fall off as far as offense goes. But you have Max Muncy, Carlos Correa, Avisal Garcia, Ramon Laureano. This team, the Phoenix Cobras, they have the pitching, they have the offense. Probably preseason, one of the favorites to end up winning the World Series of the MSLB right here. Like, they're not the deepest team in the world, but no one is really deep when you have a huge fantasy draft like this. So there's Phoenix, great pitching, pretty solid offense, not much to complain about there. Then you have the Portland Penguins. Jacob deGrom, you have the best pitcher in baseball. Although they might be a little cursed because they took multiple Mets, and the Mets are their two best players. They also have Joey Votto, Luis Castillo, so also two Reds right there. And then you have Yu Darvish, so strong pitching core again, but the offense again leaves a little bit to be desired. I mean, you have old Joey Votto, not going to be around very long, so the Penguins are sort of in win. The Portland Penguins are sort of in win now mode right now. Older players: Charlie Blackmon, Joey Votto. You have Yu Darvish, who's getting up there in age. So with the core they have now, they're looking to win right away. And I don't know if that roster's strong enough right now to win right away. I sure hope so because I like the Penguins a lot with what they have. The Lightning, they have a young star. They picked Ozzie Albies with their pick, and they're going to pair him with Michael Brantley on offense. You also have Cesar Hernandez, who's probably either him or Albies is going to have to switch to another infield position. But you also have Tim Anderson and Jesus Aguilar. So another very strong infield. And then you got Brantley and you got Locaine in the outfield. The Lightning, very, very strong offensively. Taking a look at the pitching staff, Corey Kluber, Jose Barrios, they're going to be your two stars pitching. And you got Garrett Richards, Marco Gonzalez, Freddie Peralta. Nothing bad, definitely, but we've also seen pitching staffs in this league put together that are stronger as of now. Flipping to San Antonio, the team representing Texas in the MSLB. It's going to be the Noah Syndergaard show. He's the pitcher. He's the star pitcher of the team. They also got James Paxton. Matt Chapman's going to be their star player on offense. Great reliever in Taylor Rogers, one of the better first basemen in the game in Abreu. They also added David Price. Matt Carpenter probably going to flip over to first base potentially. Good offensive. And, well, the offense is pretty okay. The pitching is spectacular. They also have Nick Senzel at second. He's going to develop well. Tyler Flowers is kind of an old pitcher. The pitching, though. Syndergaard, he's pretty young still. Paxton, not that old. David Price is getting up there in age. And you got Drew Smiley, still an 80 overall, 29 years old. And then Michael Byard at the 5. Not many teams are going to have a strong fifth pitcher in this league, but that starting lineup for the Bulls in San Antonio is going to be strong. So the Bulls, another solid team here. I'm going to make a video tomorrow telling you my predictions for the league. So right now I'm just going to kind of be giving clues for that, but you won't know my power rankings and predictions yet. We're going to go to the Roadrunners. They got the first overall pick, so they're going to get the best player in the MLB. They get Mike Trout with the first overall pick. They also picked up Kirby Yates, probably the best closing pitcher in baseball. Marcelo Zuna is obviously going to do things. Eduardo Escobar. So extremely strong offense, especially when you pick up Mike Trout. You got Shohei Ohtani. He's going to be playing offense and he's going to pitch. That's what that little symbol means. However, the pitching when you spend picks on Mike Trout, Ozuna, Escobar, such upper tier offensive players, the pitching is going to be a little lacking, and you can definitely see that they're kind of solid all around here in Mexico City. Very average. Ohtani, 81. He has sky high potential. Same with Jordan Balazovic. He has great potential. And then you got these other three guys who are kind of placeholders waiting for guys like Tariq Subal to come up. So the pitching, Mexico City is going to be a fun, high-run scoring team. But they're going to, when the runs aren't scoring, it's going to be a little rough to watch them sometimes. So that's that on Mexico City. Then you have the Atlanta Dragons. They got their star pitcher, Chris Sale. He's getting a little older, not undergoing Tommy John in this series. Chris Sale is healthy. They also were able to pick up Trevor Story, Carlos Santana, and George Springer. They also have Salvador Perez and MLB The Show god, Johnny Cueto. Not necessarily healthy in real life, but in the show he does good things. The pitching rotation for them, they got Salen Cueto, who I mentioned, and you have Gio Gonzalez, who's a very solid pitcher. Danny Salazar, who's not bad, and then Mitch Keller, who's only going to get better, I would say. So that's that on Atlanta. Then we're going to go to Orlando. Uh, they have Christian Yelich, and that's pretty much what's going on there. I mean, they have old Justin Turner, Kenley Jansen's relieving for them. Matt Olson has the potential to be a good first baseman. Marcus Simeon is a very good just a good shortstop in general, uh, hitting and defensively, but he's not getting any younger. You have David Dahl, who high potential for David Dahl. I like that pick. But their best pitcher is Carlos Carrasco, which isn't horrible. Taking a look at the starting pitching for Orlando, they have Carrasco, Wheeler, Marcus Walden, and Masahiro Tanaka. So a very strong first four pitchers, all in the upper 80s, all very strong potential. And then you have the veteran J.A. Happ, obviously just holding down the fort for Casey Mize to be ready, because Casey Mize is going to be ready sooner rather than later. And this Orlando pitching staff is going to be ridiculous once that happens. So offensively, a little more to be desired. It's the Christian Yelich show, but pitching, a lot to be excited about for the Wizards. DC, Jordan Alvarez, only getting better. He's 22. Shane Bieber, only getting better. He's 24. Got a star reliever in Ken Giles. Yoli Gurriel, he's older now, but they also have another Gurriel on the team from the Blue Jays. He's going to be getting better. So a little mix of the young and old here for DC. The pitching staff for them, they have Shane Bieber, Brandon Woodruff, Luke Weaver, Jacob Junis, and Brandon Francis. So pitching staff besides Bieber is a little weak in my opinion. So the Eagles have a little bit of work to do, I think. But Jordan's going to be getting a lot better. Gurriel's going to be getting better. And Miguel Andujar is obviously going to be a thing. So that could be a sleeper team, surprise team. I just don't see it quite yet. Then you have New Jersey. I don't really know what New Jersey was doing, to be completely honest. I remember saying that when I looked at this draft. They have Garrett Cole. Of course, he's one of the best players in baseball, and he got paid like that. One of the stronger pitchers. And they also got Liam Hendricks, 88 overall closing pitcher. Their best offensive player is Gio Urshela, and I don't understand that at all. I don't know how they obviously drafted for potential. They have guys like Jay Langeliers, a potential catcher, Robert Poussin, a potential 17-year-old shortstop, and Jesus Luzardo, 22-year-old, a potential pitcher. But right now, New Jersey is not in any place to contend, especially offensively. Pitching's not too bad. They have Rich Hill, Jeff Samardzija, Jared Eichhoff, and Jesus Luzardo is not up yet. They actually have Griffin Canning here, who is 23 years old, with also has a potential. So there's a lot of potential oozing from this New Jersey team, but they're not going to be good this year. I'm just going to throw that right out there. They're not ready to contend at all. So now we're flipping to Charlotte. The Charlotte Hornets, a great 1-2 punch with Freddie Freeman. They got Bryce Harper. They got Xander Bogaerts. And they got a bit of an ace in Trevor Bauer, along with a great closer in Brad Hand. Good relief, solid starter in Kenta Maeda. To pair with Trevor Bauer, the Hornets, a bit of a sleeper team. Looking at the pitching rotation, two very strong guys in Maeda and Bauer. And then to round it out, they have Savelli, Musgrove, and Tanner Roark, who's always a sim god in the show as of late. So the Hornets, obviously a team to watch out for. OKC, Ketel Marte is their best player. I mean, they have a lot of young guys. Fernando Tatis was their first-round pick. He's only 21. Gary Sanchez only 27. Marte only 26. So their top three guys on offense only getting better. Will Smith will be around for a long time. Max Kepler's decently young. Got Lance McCullers probably as your ace. Maybe John Gray. Neither of those guys are 30 yet. Like, Besides Will Smith, you have to go down to Nick Vincent to find a player on this offense who's 30 years old. And then like guys like Brad Miller. This whole team is fairly young, and that's exciting. Their starting rotation, you have John Gray, potentially the ace, Lance McCullers. Then you have Andrew Heaney, another 80 overall. Jordan Yamamoto, lots of potential. Good stuff from him in Miami last year. And then Randy Dobnak, he's here. Uh, is there a potential pitcher in the system? Not really. So probably OKC is going to have to look at that in the draft, looking for that fifth guy eventually. So that's that on that for OKC. Then you're going to go to Louisville. Javi Baez, he's their first pick. He's on the cover this year, so obviously he's going to do good things. You got young Rafael Devers, great third baseman. This is the strongest third baseman I think we've seen. The third baseman group we've seen in baseball in a long time, maybe ever. Eddie Rosario, he's going to be good for them. Brandon Morrow, their closer. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep bringing up their pictures. Herman Marquez, Nick Ahmed. So they drop off after their first couple guys, obviously here. But that's what a lot of teams have to do because it's a fantasy draft. Sometimes you have to pick younger players with less potential, guys like Zach Gallen, perhaps, who will develop really well and sacrifice being good right away. Their starting rotation, Herman Marquez is their ace. They have Cole Hamels, the old guy, to mentor Zach Gallen. They also have Dallas Keuchel, a guy who's won a World Series, won a Cy Young before, so he's there. Then you got Daniel Norris rounding out the rotation, kind of waiting for Cole Stewart to be ready at 24 years old. So there's that on Louisville. Now we're going to the Wisconsin Warriors. They hit the jackpot. They got Cody Bellinger, the MVP, 24 years old, a potential, and he somehow dropped to the third overall pick. So Wisconsin obviously scooped him up. Mike Clevenger is going to be the ace on this team. They also have Trey Turner doing things offensively. You got Jock Peterson hanging around still with Bellinger. Jorge Alfaro can develop to do big things, but the offense is going to run through Cody Bellinger, obviously. Then you look at the starting pitchers. Look at this. You got Clevenger. You got Severino. You got Lamet. Really good guys right there. And then you got Dino Rocha and Spencer Howard. One of them's not even in the MLB yet, but they could potentially develop into big things. Also not going to underplay Caleb Smith. He was once a high potential guy. He will eat up innings for you. He will do well for Wisconsin. Wisconsin did a great job, in my opinion. So the next team to look at is Indy. Indy knocked it out of the park pitching-wise. They got Manny Machado with their first pick. They got old man Robinson Cano, Yadi Molina. They're a lot older on offense, and they're going to throw out an offense there every day, but the pitching is going to be ridiculous day after day. Greinke, Nola, Mikolas. Great starting five pitching. And then you got Mike Fiers every fifth day. If they have those guys pitching, they have a chance to win 4 out of every 5 games. And that's all you can really ask for. Winning 4 out of 5 games in baseball is absolutely ridiculous. So the team we're going to talk about is the Rams. Their best player is Jose Altuve. That was their first-round pick. Then they got Goldschmidt. He's going to be one of the better first basemen in baseball. And then they went for a lot of potential guys. Jack Flaherty, young, 24 years old, a potential. Andrew Benintendi, 25 years old, a potential. Corey Seager, 25 years old, a potential. So the offense is going to be there. David Bodie, super young. Mike Foltynewicz, still got potential. Tyler Glasnow, got potential. So looking at the pitching rotation, they have Jack Flaherty, Folty, Glasnow, Ryan Barucki. I'm not going to try that name. And Victor Rodriguez Jose Urquidy rounding out the offense. I'm going to wrap this up, hopefully, because I'm starting to not be able to speak. We have the NL West. That's our final division to go through. Chris Bryant on the Las Vegas Gamblers. That was a controversial moment in the chat because we have a lot of debate on who the best NL West team is. And Chris Bryant going there was a big get for them. They also have old Howie Hendrick. He's been around for a while. Renfroe, Mike Soroka, the ace pitcher, went in the second round for them. Michael Lorenzen, Adam Duvall. So, again, a team with a decent bit of potential, but I think they could have done better, especially with the pitching. Other than Soroka, yeah, Chris Bassett, uh, Reed McMahon's only 19 and he's forced to start doing things. Jace Vines, I guess, will be a thing. Forrest Whitley's going to be good. And then Zach Plesac's also there. So I don't really know the direction Vegas is going. Uh, you don't really see any high overalls at any spot, so there's that. Then you're looking at Denver. Denver got Anthony Rendon, probably the best third baseman in baseball, if not Nolan Arenado. It's probably Arenado still, but Rendon, obviously a guy you like there. And then you got Blake Snell, you got Moose, Josh Bell. So another ridiculous infield with Bell, Moustakas, Rendon, and then Perez catching. And then you got Eloy, who's only 23 years old, in left field. So the offense is going to be very good for Denver. But then looking at the pitching, you got Snell. Snell's good. And then Yanni Chirinos, also good. Sandy Alcantara has potential. And then you got Justin Beggs and Mike Montgomery. Guys you really don't want to see. You're really waiting for Hunter Green, Jackson Rutledge to come up and round out that rotation. Maybe some additions in free agency, pitching-wise. But the offense, great for the Denver Dreamers. For the LA Neptunes, they got Aaron Judge, who they game says is a 99 overall. I don't know if I agree with that, but he's their top 3 players are offensive, and they're all studs. With Peralta and Judge out in the outfield, it's going to be ridiculous. And LeMahieu and Judge stay together on the same team. Wilson Contreras is here. Some strong relievers. You got Scott Kingery, a potential at shortstop. So lots of good things here you like to see on offense for the Neptune, or the Tritons, my bad. But the pitching leaves some to be desired still. Sean Manaea, he's good. King Felix, you really don't want to have King Felix in your rotation, but he's there. And then 3 extremely young guys, 24, 23, 24 years old, especially David Peterson. They will develop, but the pitching is not there yet. And if you're seeing numbers, I've simulated training games to kind of figure things out. So that's what their numbers are so far. Couple more teams left, and by couple, I mean 2. The Buccaneers of San Jose. First pick, they got Gleyber Torres, 23 years old, 89 overall. Very strong player. They also got old man Justin Verlander. He's going to be around doing good things, although that regression kills you in MLB. They also got Reese Hopkins, who's going to be a great first baseman for them, and Ahmed Rosario, who's going to play short there for a long time. The starting pitchers, you got Verlander and a bunch of nothing. Like Nate Pearson's going to develop. Garcia will develop for them. Potentially Corbin Martin. But Rick Porcello, you don't want him being a starting pitcher. And Adrian Hauser, you don't really want that either. And Verlander's only getting older. So not really sure what the direction is for San Jose, but that's what they've got right now. Especially with an offense that isn't horrible. Their specialty will be their offense. But I'm curious to see what will happen with the pitching there. And then the final team, we have the Wolverines. I was going to make this video under a half an hour, hopefully. Best player, first picks, Giancarlo Stanton. They also were able to snag Jonathan Villar. They have Lance Lynn as a starting pitcher. Victor Robles actually ended up being their first-round pick over Stanton, and Stanton was their second-round pick. That was actually a shock, but Victor Robles is definitely has high potential. He's only 22 to develop. You got Hunter Dozier. And then the pitching, not bad, but no real stars. I mean, you have Lance Lynn, Chris Archer, Alex Wood. Jake Arrieta has been a thing in the past. And then Tanner Tully has potential. But no like ace pitcher. And that's always going to be an issue. You don't want Lance Lynn being your ace. So that's that. Tomorrow, I plan on bringing my power rankings video to you guys. And then on Tuesday will be the opening day for the MSLB. So thank you guys for watching. Got the video in under a half an hour. So see you guys tomorrow with the power rankings.